UFC 324 just happened, and holy shit, the main event was something to behold. Definitely one of the best one-sided beatdowns I have ever seen. I was completely wrong on some of my picks, especially in the last one, but let's face it, everybody in the MMA community was wrong about the main event. Everybody and their mothers had Paddy Pimblett subbing Justin Gaethje. The fact that this fight even went to a decision is absolutely mind-boggling. It doesn't make any sense. Scientists need to study Paddy's chin. Yes, he got knocked down a plethora of times, but who cares? This man kept getting up and kept fighting. It's literally a scene out of Rocky when Apollo Creed was beating the everlasting shit out of him, and Rocky just kept getting up. We don't need someone like that in our lives, baby. Like that's literally what this fight encapsulated. It was absolute cinema. I do have to rant about a couple of things. I know I got some picks wrong, and that's okay. But what's standing out to me most, first of all, credit to Justin Gaethje. Everybody knows that this fight is just the who's going to get slimed out by Topuria belt. Topuria already tweeted out that he's screwed, and I believe him because Ilia Topuria knocks anything that walks, so it doesn't really matter. Although Paddy showed a lot of heart and a lot of grit, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed because you know, IQ-wise, that your path to victory is through grappling. It's through submissions. If Rafael Fiziev can take Gaethje down twice, you can't once, and you have some of the best jiu-jitsu at 155 right now. I don't get it. I just genuinely don't understand how Paddy could not implement the ground game whatsoever. I feel like if he played this a little bit smarter, if he actually went for takedowns, especially early on in the fight, things might have turned out a little bit better. I saw a scorecard that said 48-47. In what world? In what world was that a 48-47? At minimum, that's a 49-46. You could even score the second round at 10-8. It's just, at least a 49-46. There's no way it was a 48-47. Now, Gaethje, man, Gaethje scared me the entire fight. Okay, although this is the problem with Gaethje, right? Even though there are times where he's winning a fight, Charles Oliveira, that fight that he had against him, especially in the first round. Well, it only went one round. But regardless, he's winning the fight, he's knocking people down, and he finds a way to lose by submission, right? That is literally the Justin Gaethje losing method. That's literally what happens in his career. Gaethje is a wild dog, all right? He's throwing these big meaty hooks everywhere, big overhands, and he dips to slip out. And I'm surprised that Paddy couldn't read that and throw a fucking uppercut, right? Because don't get me wrong, Paddy did do that a couple of times. But every time Gaethje ducked his head, right, to try to evade some sort of hook, Paddy Pimblett was clashing him with a 1-2. It's just that it looks like a Tourette's tick. This fucking dance that he does, dude. Like, what are we doing, okay? It's just, don't get me wrong, phenomenal fight. I'm super happy that Gaethje won. I said it in my last video. I don't like Paddy. Much respect to him, obviously. I may not like him personally, his personality and whatnot, but his fight style has always been entertaining. And obviously, he showed a lot of heart, a lot of determination, a lot of grit. And it was a thing of beauty. As a person who craves entertainment from mixed martial arts, this is one of those fights that you sit your boys down, they've never seen UFC, and you throw this on. That is literally one of these fights. Paddy, held his own for a while. Like I said, if he had gone for the takedowns, if he had mixed things up, Gaethje landed 3 takedowns over Paddy Pimblett. Gaethje landed 3 takedowns on a jiu-jitsu specialist. My man, what's going on? I'm at a loss for words. All right. Not only that, but nobody saw this going to decision. Everybody saw this fight going 2 ways, right? You only had one of 2 routes to actually believe how this fight was going to play out, and it was Paddy submission or Justin Gaethje by a first or second round KO. There was nobody, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a single MMA YouTuber who actually thought that this fight was going to go the distance. There was no way. There was no way, and it happened. This is exactly why MMA is the greatest sport in the history of everything. All right? I love basketball. I love football. Soccer's great. I love sports in general, right? but nothing will ever compare to the sweat, to the sitting on the edge of your seat. You can't look away for 1 second because you don't know what's going to happen. That type of feeling, that type of adrenaline can only happen when you watch mixed martial arts. I was a big basketball guy before getting into MMA, huge basketball guy. And after I found MMA, I couldn't watch any other timed sport again. I still love football. I still love timed sports, soccer and whatnot. I love it, right? I'm an avid watcher, but it's like a fix. It's like a drug now. Watching MMA, it's like you're sitting there watching these other sports, and the time is ticking by, and you're like, someone made a basket, someone scored a goal, someone threw a 10-yard pass. Awesome. Somebody died. What if somebody died? Right? How fucking hyped would you be? Only MMA gives that type of fucking feeling to somebody, all right? So, glazing MMA aside, fight was phenomenal. I'm a little bit disappointed in Paddy Pimblett. Gaethje is a wild man. How good is Ilia Topuria? And just how shit is Michael Chandler? Michael Chandler's fucking dog shit. All right, if this fight told us anything, Michael Chandler's horrible, like really bad. Topuria is going to kill Gaethje in a very brutal way. And the worst part about it, me being a big Topuria fan, is that they're going to continue to say that Topuria is just knocking out these old legends, these old washed up legends. I negate that entirely. That point in and of itself, listen to me. If you're winning fights, I don't care if you're 60. All right, if you're fighting top 5 contenders, if you're fighting guys that are younger than you, if you're going to scrappy wars and you're absolutely obliterating people, I don't care if you're 60 years old. You are that dude. And if somebody knocks your ass out after that, what are you going to say? Oh, now he's washed. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. It's like the Holloway fight with Topuria. Everybody was saying, oh, Topuria was fighting a washed Holloway. Coming off of the greatest KO of all time? What? On a 3-fight win streak before that? Arnold Allen, TKZ, Justin Gaethje? Yeah, he was washed? All of a sudden, now he's washed because you want him to be. It's just, it's whatever fits their narrative. But regardless, we're going to move on to the co-main event because, my goodness, Sean O'Malley, man, let me tell you something. Sean O'Malley also frustrated the hell out of me in this fight. He was so damn scared this entire fight. Those Merab losses really did something to his psyche. And I hope that this fight, this win, reignites his spirit to actually help him fight and stop going on the back foot. This man was a back foot merchant the whole time. Not to mention, you have a 72-inch reach. Song Yadong, especially in the second and third round, wasn't really hitting crazy shots. He'd throw up a big overhand because obviously Song Yadong's entire plan is I got to take this guy out early because if I go into deep waters, I'm going to lose, which is an excellent game plan if you are Song Yadong. You have 5 inches on this guy. Pause. Okay? You have 5 inches on this guy, and he's missing every swing because you're fucking, stepping back. Fine. Why don't you throw a 2, lean back, and you miss? Like, he's waiting for counters the whole time. You know, a lot of people are screaming robbery. I think it was a close fight. I really think it could have gone either way. Obviously, the decisive round is the first round because that third round is 100% Sean O'Malley's, and that second round is for sure Song Yadong's. So it all goes up to that first round. And it's just, man, O'Malley really, really pissed me off. He really pissed me off. And I said in my last video, my predictions video, I said that Sean O'Malley was going to put on a masterclass. That's what I thought. I thought we were going to see an absolute masterclass from Sean O'Malley. And we didn't get that. We got a scraping by fest. Back foot fest, right? And listen, Song Yadong, yeah, he's powerful. He's a tough out. I get it. But, dude, it's time to, at some point during the fight, you know that you're down 2. If Tim Welsh did not tell Sean O'Malley at the end of that second round that he was down 2-0 at least, right? Maybe that's why he fought on the back foot, the whole time. I don't know what Tim Welsh was telling him. But, dude, that was just pitiful. It was pitiful. This, to me, is like a win where it's like, yeah, sure, whatever, scraping by. Like, we don't really care. Corey Sandhagen in the stands wants to fight Sean O'Malley. I think that's a great fight. I don't mind it. Sandhagen just got off a title shot. He needs to fight another contender. He beat Davidson Figueiredo before that. Book it. Why not? Let's see a striking battle. And let's see if it'll actually end up happening. You know what I mean? Because if there's anything that we need, we need entertainment from Sean O'Malley. We need entertainment from Sean O'Malley, because the past 3 fights, man, we got the Marab loss, both of them, and the Song Yadong Snoozer Fest. Come on, man. Come on. Now, let me tell you, the main event made up for a lot of what was wrong with this card. Going down to the unction. Listen, yes, I had Derek Lewis knocking out Waldo Cortez Acosta. Okay, this man threw 8 strikes. Dare I say, the worst performance of any UFC fighter I have ever seen. This was really bad. Like, really bad. And you know what's funny? The jab that knocked down Derek Lewis, he slipped. The jab didn't even connect. He just gave up. Derek Lewis straight up laid on his back like he was some jiu-jitsu specialist and gave up. And as a Derek Lewis enjoyer, this really makes me upset. He was flat-footed the whole time, which is fine. I know that's how Derek Lewis fights, and he's looking for that one-punch KO power. But this dude was not, like, urgent whatsoever. He was not urgent at all. He basically gave Waldo Cortez Acosta the fight. He was just like, look, I'm tired. I came here for a check. I'm done. I give up. I have nothing else to say about this fight. It was just, I'm very, very sad. Very disappointed. So, Derek Lewis, man, it's time. I genuinely think it's time to hang it up. You're number 8 ranked, nowhere near a title shot. I really think if he had knocked out Waldo Cortez Acosta and maybe knocked out one more person, we could have seen him fight with Aspinall. Why not? Heavyweight sucks. Why not? But this dude does not give a fuck. And it was just really, really, really repulsive. This entire fight was a repulsive, like, I wanted to throw up. It was really bad. Worst performance ever. Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. Another fight that a lot of people are deeming robbery. I think Silva did just enough to get by. Honestly, nothing else. She outlanded Rose Namajunas, doubling damn near her strikes. I don't know why people are screaming robbery. She outstruck her on the first round. Second round obviously was Rose's fight. Got the takedown, outlanded her. But the third round, look at these stats, my man. Look at these stats. How are you going to sit there and tell me that this was a robbery? Come on. You don't know ball. All right, this is a clear win for Natalia Silva. I predicted she was going to win. I thought it would be a little bit more decisive, but unanimous decision. I'm not mad about it. Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. I knew in the back of my mind that this was going to go to a decision. I just knew it. I knew that him knocking out Arnold Allen was kind of going to be an impossibility, although I had him by KO. Gene Silva winning. Arnold Allen showed some grit once again. Gene Silva, man, this guy is really fake. Silverstein, man, really, really, really fake. This guy pressures you before the fight, in the middle of the fight. He doesn't want to touch gloves, and then after the fight, he's, oh my God, my brother, I love you, brother. I love you, brother. You're my brother. You're a bitch, all right, dude. Like, why are you being so fake? His cockiness is gonna get him destroyed. If there's anything that Gene Silva told me about this fight, is that Volk would demolish him. Volk right now would make easy work of Gene Silva. If you had told me the Gene Silva before the Diego Lopez fight, I feel like that was a guy that everybody was saying was gonna be champ, right? Because he was menacing. But after that Diego Lopez fight, this dude, wow, man. Like, I get that he lost to someone like Diego Lopez, who's high up in the rankings, and he's a dog, and he's an excellent fighter, and he's got ridiculous power. You know, that loss did something to him. And I know he's a little, like, autistic. And I know his story. I've heard his story. It's like a terrifying story, what Gene Silva's gone through. I wish he whatever. This isn't a personality contest. Gene Silva, obviously, you know, he put belt to ass, landed 4 takedowns, did a jump off of Arnold Allen's back. First time I've ever seen that shit before. And yeah, easy, decisive win. And Arnold Allen still has a chin, and Arnold Allen is still him. He was still in the pocket. He was still delivering blows. There was a lot of moments in that fight where it was starting to go Allen's way, but Gene Silva would interrupt the momentum. And yeah, it was a good fight. It was entertaining. And now for the greatest fight. This fight was just wow. This, if you ever want to show your friends UFC, fuck the main event. You need to show them this fight. By the way, I want to also say that there are people in this world who will defend Umar Nurmagomedov till their death. This was the one of the also worst fights I've ever seen. Just absolute clinch fest. 19 strikes in the second round. And it's just, you know, nice, man. You know, I get it. Umar's doing what he needs to get by, and I did have Umar not beating Merab the first time. I had Merab winning, but I said in previous videos that the only person I could see beating Merab before Peter Yan actually beat him was Umar. If he improved his cardio, and I thought he would be the one to actually dethrone him. And his takedowns are great, but dude, this fight was a snoozer, man. Like these daggies, you know, Islam is the only one that's really entertaining. And even then, he just had a snooze fest with JDM. Oh, if you go watch kickboxing, fuck you. Gaethje versus Pulayev. Listen, somebody needs to get Gaethje's family investigated, okay? Because how the hell did Gaethje not knock him out? Every time he knocked Pulayev, every time he knocked him down, he never followed through. I'm telling you, someone needs to investigate that shit because his family definitely bet this fight to go to decision. It was probably plus 1,000. There's no way. He didn't follow up once on not one single knockdown. Also, nobody had this going to decision either. Everybody thought Gaethje was going to knock this fool out in like a round. Also, completely unexplainable. I don't get it. All right, I don't get it. And Pulayev, great grit, outstruck him. You know what I mean? Gaethje said he was thankful to have 15 minutes of a fight, which, sure, dude. But why would you want 15 minutes if you can knock him out in 2? Why? You could have. You really, 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 really could have. And yeah, Pulayev, again, showed grit, kept getting up, sure, but, you know, when there's no follow-up strikes, it's very easy to get up. You know, I don't understand it. Again, investigate Gaethje. Good performance, I guess. Not even. You still got outstruck. You still got outstruck. If none of those punches actually landed a knockdown, you would have lost this fight. I think he had a knockdown in every single round. He did. So, I mean, if it wasn't for your ungodly power, you would be made a fool right now. But, again, should have been a one-round KO, but regardless. Oh, yay! Nikita Krylov. Listen, man, I had Bukauskas winning this. Bukauskas, also a very frustrating performance. This guy needs to be cut from the UFC. This was abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. This man does not know how to land a punch. He doesn't know how to land a punch. Nikita Krylov had his chin in the air the entire time. His chin was on a silver platter, bro. His chin was on a fucking silver platter. And Bukauskas, what did he do? Nothing. He'd throw a 1-2, and it would barely graze him. He was literally letting Krylov win. No urgency whatsoever. Wasn't going for the kill at all. There were times where Nikita, like he would bait Nikita Krylov to coming back in so he could attack. And when he would attack, he'd throw one punch, no combos, and that 2 that he would throw wouldn't even land cleanly. I'm telling you right now, if he threw maybe an extra 2 strikes during those exchanges, he would have knocked them the fuck out. It's just, this was a very frustrating performance by Bukauskas. Credit to Krylov. I'm happy he won. It's chill. Also, another pick I got wrong. Charles Johnson, stumbling and bumbling with that fucking haircut. What the hell happened in this fight? Alex Perez is a dog. Alex Perez is a dog. And listen, I know that I said in my last video that Alex Perez was like 1-4 in his last 5. I know he went up against killers, and I get that. But I really thought Johnson had this in the bag. I really thought he had this in the bag. And Perez just showed levels. The speed was ridiculous. The counters, that left hook he's got is a thing of beauty. And he just mogged him. He just mogged him on the feet. It wasn't even close. And for the only 2 early prelims that we got, because Hernandez versus Johnson was canceled. Freeman, dude, not a single strike thrown. Obviously, we're never going to see this man's face ever again. Hawkett, as I said in my last video, he's the Incredible Hulk. That's the only reason why I had this guy winning. This guy thinks he is in WWE, though. He's fucking biting lines off of The Rock. And he's biting lines off of Stone Cold Steve Austin, so he definitely needs to lay off WWE Raw just a little bit. But regardless, I mean, 2 heavyweight blobs going at it. Stopped right at the last second. Freeman is dog shit. Get him cut. And, of course, Ty Miller versus Adam Fuggett. Also a domination. Stopped at the very last second of round number 1 once again. Nobody had Adam Fugit winning this. Nobody. Everybody had Tyler Miller. So did I. I had him by finish. So Obviously, that was just an absolute lock. So you guys have it. Those are my reactions to UFC 324. Main event was absolute cinema. Again, it's one of those fights that you gotta show your friends. If they have never seen, any UFC fight, that is one of the ones that you need to show them for sure. It's definitely up there. Thank you guys for watching. I got new predictions coming out soon, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.